So we are gonna, I just pulled it forward a bit because everything's longer now here, so need lots of room to get these back ones on there even longer, a bit heavier. So looks like can you get this jacked up? You see the ground clearance lifting up quite a bit on the front. Once the back's up, it's gonna be huge. So let's get these backs on. Let's jack her up, get the tires off. This time I'm gonna jack her up high enough right off the bat so that I know these guys are gonna line up much faster and go on without having to play with it, well, a little bit at a time, you know what I mean? So just get it right the first time. Okay, we're just at the back here, putting on the mounted plates here for the anti-rotation bars, which are much bigger bars, as you can see right there, but more or less the same setup. So what we had to do, we had to take these scratchers off here that were for rock and debris and mud and all that crap that gets inside your rims. They honestly, like this one, I got all broke off and actually bent the inside of my rim when the rock got caught there, but they actually cause more problems than not. So you can see it's on the bottom of this one over here. We're gonna take that one off still. So it's 4 little 10 mil bolts, pretty easy to get off. Just back them out, chuck this aside. Then you got to take out this sucker right here. So make sure you keep this, because you got to put this back in when you take all these brackets off and you go back to stock or for running tires again. So do not throw this out thinking that this is going to do you the rest of the way. So we're going to keep that aside, keep our parts nice and neat. These are the old scratcher bolts, which are, you can use them for whatever, doesn't matter. So this is the other longer one for the other side. The reason being that they're longer is because, as you can see, this bracket here that sits here, this will take the anti-rotation bar out. That'll bolt through there in a bit here, but this here is another little bracket that goes bolted through nut and bolt here. So bolt there, you kind of pre-put it on, slide it on. Now you can see why we needed the the extender on the end here that pulls this out. Is to give this all the meat and strength. So that bolt had to be longer, and so it's just a separate bolt and nut for that. So we'll take that off when we're done with this and keep this for next season. And that's it. So the only thing is there's a left and a right for this guy here that you want to watch out for, because this one's labeled, as you can see way down in there. You can't see it, but there's a sticker saying which wheel, like the other ones. But this one has a bit of a curve on the inside. You want to make sure that curve goes on the inside and all the way straight goes up to the outside. It's just to not, so you got room there to clear there. That's the only difference, left and right in there. Other than that, this goes on. We're going to do the other side now. Then we're going to extend our anti-rotation bar out there, get that bolted through. Looks pretty simple. And then it's going to bolt over here also the same way, down on there, as same kind of deal as the fronts. So we're getting there. So the back tracks are now on. We've got both of them on. We're all bolted up through here, no problem. We're bolted in down through there, no problem. Then we got this bar here. What I did is I found on both these guys here is I left about 1 inch of thread on either side. So what happens is, you don't want to be too loose out one end and get caught and then have lots of thread in the other side. So with this bar, so like I said, I started kind of with like 1 inch on each side. And then once you get this one locked and you leave the front one loose, you can actually turn this unit to tighten up the tension on here. If you feel like you're too towed out or towed in and you want to push it out, that way you don't have to take everything off. You should just be able to loosen the front nut and then spin this guy and get it to where you want. I guess that's why this is all screwed in here to lock the one side. so you can twist this and tighten her in where you want. But yeah, you know what? The instructions, to be honest, for this compared to the windshield and the washer fluid assembly, this was a lot better. It really wasn't that bad at all. The mounting kits and all the plates and everything actually fit bang on, dead on. So yeah, it's pretty good. So to get this on, like I say, just pull the old stuff off. I'll get down under here, check it out. Pull the old stuff off, and there's the 4 bolts that replace those guards that were there, and they just go up and in super easy. This guy goes straight through the big bolt. This one you see the heims just sit in between, bolt on one side, nut on the other. Pretty darn easy stuff. So yeah, to be honest, really wasn't that bad. It's just one of those things where if you have somebody to help you, yes, that would help for sure. But it could be done by one person for sure. Like, I didn't have much difficulty with it as we're being too laboring or too heavy. You know, everything's a couple, you know, the trucks are 100 pounds, but they're on the ground. You just wiggle them over to where you want. Other than that, my jacking system was not to be desired for sure, but I keep saying after every job that gets me in this position, next time, gonna get the other jack. I think we're gonna get a lift anyways, and just make things easier because we seem to use it quite a bit. So, but yeah, we're gonna get this for a quick little rinse down, hose down right now. Back her out real quick, and next drop her down, get it leveled, tighten everything up on the back end. Like I said, those ones I left, so I can just check my the straightness of the towing there, right? And we got to cinch down the roof, washer, window, all that's all done. Got to get this back poly thing all done. My S&B is a little low. It's not going to get the most air, but it is fan driven anyway, so maybe it will be okay. There's a pre-filter kit, which I don't even know if that works with the S&B anyways. So, what shall we do? Eliminate the S&B, put the pre-filter kit in with the stock, or run it like this? We will find out. Maybe we'll try both, bring them with us. It only takes 2 seconds to pop it off. So yeah, there we go. So there were, you know, only a certain amount of tools to use. It wasn't a huge wide variety, to be honest. There's a little 10 mil socket, and then you had your 15, 18, and 19. That was the biggest one for that. And then it's just a difference of a couple different ratchets, if you can use a socket versus a wrench on one end or the other, or you can use both if you can get them in there. But it's really not a whole bunch of different tools, which is pretty cool. I used a hammer there just to pop the original pin out, you know, through the hub and everything. So that was not bad. The only tough part was uncinching that from the nut. It was on there pretty dang good, so I just kind of used the torsion bar and pulled down on her. Then the impact gun worked no problem. So now we got to get another set of wheels on here to help keep it cool, like the bogies. We're gonna put another set over here, and some scratchers on all 4 corners. Hopefully we get those on there too, because we got to keep these cool. Okay, so in addition, because these are the backcountries, they heat up, the sliders get pretty hot, You either gotta spray them down when you're on the groom trails, trying to get to the fresher, deeper stuff for the powder. And so I thought I'm gonna put some ice scratchers on here. The holes are already there. They're ready to go. So I'm gonna try just on the outside and see if that sprays in enough. If it does, then I won't add the other one, but I do have another set for the inside. Just be kind of a pain in the butt to go back down there, but if it's needed in the long run to save these tracks, I mean, they're not cheap, so if it's needed, I'll put that one on. The fronts don't have a place to put them on there already, but we can add it on. We'll see how the fronts do. The back's just such a huge track and there's only one set of wheels here. So I do have other wheels. I'm going to try to drop in a couple other wheels as well. And yeah, we'll see how that goes too. So for these scratchers, they're super easy. You see the holes, they're lined up just like those two over there. So it's just a 13 mil socket and a wrench or on a drill or whatever. Super easy to put on. And then this little guy's the 10 mil. Just hex head just sits in there and a little 10 mil on the back. And then yeah, just to hold them where they belong. Pull them out when you need them, right? So hopefully that causes this to not overheat so much. We'll find out. We're going to put it to the test tomorrow.